What's up everyone, this is Tony with JRNYcrypto. In this video we're going to be talking about the cryptocurrency markets and some major events that are coming up in July that I do think will have a huge price effect on the markets, some negative and some positive. So I'm going to talk about each event, when it's happening, and what I think will be happening in the crypto markets throughout July. Before we get started, I do appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell to be notified for my daily crypto videos. Alright guys, so the crypto markets have been very stagnant over the past few days, probably the most boring week we've seen since the market crashed. So not much going on in the space. There are some major events coming up though that I do want to discuss that I do think will affect the price of cryptocurrencies. So I'm going to discuss each event, when it's going to be happening, in my opinion, on what it's going to do to the price of cryptocurrencies. Alright guys, so the price of Bitcoin has been very boring over the past week and a half or so, just hovering above this major support line. So after Bitcoin flash crashed from around 41,000 down to 28,000, a lot of people thought this was the Wyckoff accumulation spring, which means we would be heading out of accumulation, but we are moving sideways now, and we do have some major upcoming events. We do have regulation news coming in day after day as well. We also have to consider the accumulation schematic is just a schematic. It's not meant to be copied exactly. So some people also stating we're only in the middle of accumulation, meaning we would be testing major resistance again before dropping even lower than this last retest, and probably testing $25,000 to $28,000 Bitcoin down here before then recovering and heading out of accumulation. So really this is going to depend on major events, in my opinion. If we get some really bad news with regulations or a country banning cryptocurrency, I do think this could send us a little bit lower, but at this point a lot of the panic is priced in. So we do have some big events coming up as well that could be great news. So if we do have really good breaking news, I do think that could be the driving demand. We need to at least retest major resistance here at some point in July. So right now we are getting a lot of Bitcoin data suggesting whales are accumulating at lower prices and more users are coming to the Bitcoin network than ever before. So this is combating the FUD and regulations, which is why I think we're just moving stagnant here for the past week and a half or so. We haven't had any major news of companies that have acquired Bitcoin for their balance sheet within Q2 yet as well. So hopefully we at least get one company announcing this in the next week or so. So we're going to jump into these announcements and discuss this and what I think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin from these events. All right, guys, so the first event coming up that is causing some extra fear in the space is the Grayscale GBTC unlock, which is happening on July 18th. We do have a couple articles here, though, stating that this won't have a huge effect on the price of Bitcoin. So after this does pass and we don't see a huge price effect, that could be a good thing as well. So Bitcoin price will likely shrug off 530 million GBTC unlock in July. So Bitcoin price will not move much after Grayscale's giant 16,000 Bitcoin unlocking date. So the quote here stating, to state clearly, we don't expect these unlocks on their own to have significant impact on the overall market outside of GBTC itself. So we do have to keep that in mind. This is causing unnecessary panic in the space. Another article here, GBTC unlock edges closer as impact on Bitcoin price remains unclear. So contrary to JP Morgan's analyst, the major GBTC unlock on July 18th might not put any downside risk on Bitcoin's spot price. So JP Morgan has been causing a lot of fear in the markets once again. When Bitcoin did pass 40,000 and then drop below that, before Tesla announced they bought Bitcoin, JP Morgan also stated that Bitcoin may never pass $40,000 again, and then within 2 weeks it did with that announcement from Tesla. So you really have to take anyone's advice online with a grain of salt. Keep in mind, everyone's opinion is just that, their opinion. Even myself, you should always do your own research. Don't take anyone's word for it, and always do your own proper research, especially coming into a volatile space like this, where it's basically the Wild West. So in my opinion, this won't cause a huge price effect unless we get some more breaking news that's really bad around the same time as this. That may cause some extra selling pressure, but I don't think this alone is going to crash the markets back to the high 20,000s for Bitcoin. So this is coming up on July 18th. All right, guys, next major event here is Paraguay presenting a Bitcoin bill on July 14th to make Bitcoin legal tender. Some people stating this is impossible, but we also had people saying this about El Salvador, and they did this in a matter of days of announcing it. So I do think it's a possibility, but it is somewhat unlikely, but that would be huge news if they did pass this. Regardless, Carlitos did state that they have some other huge things to announce as well. Stay tuned, since there will be a mega surprise for Paraguay and the world. Something giant is coming. So it does sound like they do have some other big announcements, and not just making Bitcoin a legal tender. So regardless, a huge push towards mass adoption here, and I do think this is huge. If you guys do want to hear more about this and my thoughts on this, check out yesterday's video. I go more in depth on this and why it's so massive. So as you guys know, regulations are kicking in at a rapid pace. We're getting news of this day after day. We do have US Senator Warren pressing the SEC to use full authority to regulate cryptocurrency trading, and she did give a deadline on this as well. So she stated these regulatory gaps endanger consumers and investors and undermine the safety of our financial markets. The SEC must use its full authority to address these risks, and Congress must also step up to close these regulatory gaps. So regulations are kicking in whether we like it or not, and she did press a deadline here for July 28th on the SEC. So possibly getting some regulation news from the United States out of this, which definitely could be bad. So we'll see how things go here. Definitely something to consider as well. All right, guys, next major upcoming event is called the B Word, created by Jack Dorsey, the creator of Twitter, which will be taking place on July 21st. So what's interesting about this is Elon Musk has agreed to talk to Jack Dorsey about Bitcoin at this event in front of an open audience. We will be getting videos of this, and this is the first time Elon Musk will be openly talking about Bitcoin after the market crash, as far as I know. So this is going to be very interesting. I do think he will have some good things to say, and a lot of people don't like he's getting attention towards cryptocurrency still, but regardless, he is going to be a major player in the crypto space, whether we like it or not. So we also have to remember that Tesla has acquired $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they would have not done this if they thought the price of Bitcoin was going to continue going down, or if we are headed into a bear market. If they did, they could have just waited and acquired much more Bitcoin at the lower prices, dollar cost averaging throughout the bear market. So I do think Elon Musk and Tesla are going to be major players in the crypto space, whether we like it or not. And I don't think being negative towards Elon Musk is going to help at all at this point. I do think something big is going to be said at this event, and I think that could definitely pump the markets, depending on what it is. Maybe a hint at when they're going to be accepting Bitcoin as payment again. And that's going to be huge, because once they accept Bitcoin as payment, it does give the indicator that we have passed 50% clean energy, which also gives the green light to other institutions and companies buying into Bitcoin as well. And I do think that is holding a lot of institutions back right now. All right, guys, the last major upcoming event for today's video is Ethereum's London hard fork, scheduled for August 4th. Leading up to this, I do believe demand will be rising for Ethereum, and will be doing better than Bitcoin. So if we see Bitcoin pumping to 40 or 45,000, I do think Ethereum will be doing even better, possibly testing $3,000 again. So keep in mind, people do buy the testnet and sell the mainnet, so there could be a drop around August 4th as well. So hopefully everything goes well with this. This is a huge upgrade to the network and very bullish. This will be bullish for altcoins on the Ethereum network also. And then we do have Ethereum 2 upgrades rolling out over the next year. We do have other blockchain upgrades coming by end of year, like Bitcoin's Taproot upgrade, bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin, and then Cardano Goguen mainnet, which brings smart contracts to Cardano, is basically the major launching point of Cardano, when a lot of partnerships will be revealed. So I'm very bullish on ADA for end of year, which is why ADA has held up so well, even with the market crash. So as you guys can see, lots of major events coming up in July that can move the markets either way, depending on how bad the news is. So I do expect at least a bounce here to test major resistance again at some point in July, which could be coming around the B Word event, depending on what's discussed there, or if there's any major announcements, or if there's an announcement from a company, institution that acquired $1 billion or more of Bitcoin. I think that could give us the push of demand we need to retest major resistance again as well. So I don't think we're going to continue sideways for much longer here with all this stuff coming up. So we'll see how things play out with regulations as well. This is definitely something adding a lot of panic and fear to the markets. US possibly regulating cryptocurrencies, possibly causing a further dip in the short term. But regulations is needed and it's necessary, even if it causes short-term price dips into the 20,000s. In the long term, it will be a good thing for the crypto space, as it'll help prevent a lot of these scams and people losing money in the crypto space. So in the long term, it's a good thing. In the short term, it probably is a bad thing that will cause further volatility. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys found it useful. If you did, don't forget to like the video, comment below, share the video with anyone that may find this useful, and let me know in the comments below if I missed any major events. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.